Welcome to the Fuel Podcast, where we explore the foundations under extraordinary lives. And now, here is your host, Chris Swartz.
Hey guys, what's going on? It's Chris Swartz with Fuel, and we are here today with Jake Dreyfuss, and we're going to talk to Jake a little bit about what he's up to. First, give you a little bit of a background on Fuel. Fuel is a podcast where we sit down and we look behind the scenes into individuals that are living extraordinary lives. We examine the foundations that their lives are built on to see what motivates them and what pushes them and drives them to reach the levels of success that they're having. And so we are really fortunate to be here today. We want to thank our sponsors, First Choice Mortgage Advisors. And we're really fortunate to have Jake Dreyfuss with us. And Jake has been around for a while. Jake and I met, I guess, about 2 years ago.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe longer, actually.
Yeah. So Jake, since 2003, has helped over 700 people successfully navigate through the buying and selling process. He started his career in new home sales with national home builders, and he has a wealth of knowledge to share with his clients to help them achieve the dream of home ownership. He's, especially as I know, a very patient, compassionate individual. And he's also recently, I guess within the last year, also co-founder of 5AMers.
Yeah. Actually, we just celebrated our year anniversary, I think 2 months ago.
Nice. Happy belated anniversary.
Thank you.
So Jake, what we do here, and it's really informal, and we're just sharing stories. You know, I know you're in my favorite state of Colorado, and we're not sitting here next to each other, but if we were, we're just kind of very casual, informal. What I like to do is, you know, really meet with the individuals that are, you know, kind of holding themselves accountable and just living their life to a high standard. And I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that you've been nominated for those accolades here by Fuel.
Oh my God.
So we're gonna have, I just, you know, off the cuff, just wanted to, you know, I guess first let you give a little intro about yourself. I don't know if that's my internet or yours. We're cutting out a little bit, but I guess just tell us a little bit about what you're doing now and where you are, and then kind of get into what we do here.
Absolutely, yeah. Thanks for the really nice introduction. It's great to be here and great to be with you. This is cool. So right now, I'm working my dream job right now. I'm really passionate about it. I kind of stumbled into the Keller Williams real estate family somewhat by accident. I was working with a partner who was gung-ho about moving the company there, and I didn't really know too much about it. It just seemed like a great place to build our company. And after I got to know it, I was introduced to the concept of coaching. I was familiar with coaching from my athletic days, and I was really fortunate actually to have some masterful coaches now looking back. I think sometimes in high school you don't really appreciate some of the folks they're trying to pour into you, but now looking back in my 30s, I'm like, wow, those guys and gals, they were awesome. But anyway, we were introduced to this concept of becoming a business coach inside of Keller Williams and also being coached. Two things I'd never done in the professional space before. And when there was an opportunity, when my wife and I decided we were moving to Colorado to explore some adventure and give our family a different environment in which to grow, I was offered an opportunity to partner up with Abe Shreve, who is one of the top coaches inside the Keller Williams world. And he had partnered with Gary Keller, who's the founder and CEO of the company now. And they had a vision of taking all the coaching we'd be doing inside of the company and start exposing businesses outside of real estate to what business coaching actually means and how it can help business owners, you know, really understand their blind spots and what's getting in the way of them achieving their goals. So I was offered the chance to partner with them and in a role known as the director of coaches, where I get to actually coach business coaches on how to then go out into the world and coach the coaches, and then they can go out into the world and change the lives of small business owners and small and medium-sized business owners. And our fundamental belief is that when we help to change the life of a small or medium-sized or even a large-sized business owner, they will then change their communities. They'll pour into their communities, and they'll ultimately eventually change the world. So we have a huge mission, and I'm really feeling really grateful and lucky to have this opportunity. So I'm loving it.
That's awesome, man. Well, congratulations on everything, on the transition, the move. Obviously, far cry from, what you were doing here in Philadelphia and the hustle and bustle of the, the East Coast life. Now you're just chilling, right?
It's definitely different. It's definitely different. I love it. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome, man. Well, I guess kind of to dig into what we do here, and is there anything that you'd like to share? We kind of go back to the foundation. So FUEL is an acronym for Foundations Under Extraordinary Lives, and we all have that kind of foundation, that our lives are built on, and it can go way back to things that happened when you were a kid, the way you were raised. It can be the coaches that you talked about that you're now realizing that were really helpful, and in hindsight, looking back and seeing that those experiences really shaped you to be, to quote what you just said, you're living your dream, right? You've got your dream job, you're working your dream job. You've moved your family out there to experience this whole new life. What has helped you in your life to be able to set the stage for that? Is there anything that you can think of that just, kind of?
Yeah. I think there's a couple things, and I think this theme has matured over the last 3 decades of my life, basically, where I think it's a little bit of fear of missing out. My father passed away when I was younger. I was 13, and I was left with this feeling that, of course, I was sad to lose, an instrumental figure in my life, and I also felt badly that he didn't get to achieve certain things that he was probably dreaming about. From being 13, we didn't get to have a lot of these in-depth conversations about that yet. But I know that he was a driven person, and there's many things in his life that set him back from suffering from MS and a couple different things. And I know that weighed on him. And so after that, I kind of had this fear, like, man, I really want to experience things, stuff. I didn't really define it. And that was part of the problem. Because mixed with the fact that I was like, wow, I don't want to miss out on things, I was also really conservative, almost like shy too. So I would just, my initial gut reaction to things would be like a no, like I need to stay safe. And what I'm realizing, and actually I'm putting together a little special project around this, is when I started saying yes to things that specifically scared me, that's when my life actually began to change, right? And this move is an example of one of those things, right? Like, my wife and I said, we want to look back at our life and define it using a word. What would that word be? We said adventure. So an opportunity for her to relocate the family here based on her profession, it was like, well, would this allow us to experience adventure? We're like, yeah, sounds like it. Let's do it. So
nice.
we started saying yes to things, and that is when things changed. So it went from this like fear of missing out to purposely going out and finding experiences. That's when things changed, and that. I'm so passionate about that. We're actually launching in September the Year of Yes Challenge.
Nice.
So it's a social experiment we're putting together. We're looking for 1,000 people who are willing to say yes to something new every single day for a year to see where they would end up. Because I have this hypothesis that when you start saying yes to things that scare you, things change in an awesome way. So anyway, that's a whole other story. But I think to answer your question, that's what it was. It was like this foundation of like, I want to experience things. And there's a little bit of fear, like, well, if I don't do it today, then there's tomorrow guaranteed. So maybe I should do it today type thing.
Nice. That's awesome. So, it really, did you recognize that? Only now do you recognize that? It's obviously not
I have no idea. It was not organized. I've spent the past 5 or 6 years trying to figure out how my brain works, right? Reading books, going to events, saying yes to things I normally wouldn't. And through experimentation, I realized that I'm actually much more of a risk taker than I've identified myself to be. I'm much more direct than I gave myself credit for the past 25 years of my life. And so, yeah, I think it's a never-ending process. And it also goes back to like the people that I surround myself with. Like, I love the fact that you're doing this because it just shows to me like there's evidence that you want to learn and grow as well. you probably learn more through doing this podcast than even the listeners do. So I love finding people like that, like you, that are out there just experiencing things and becoming sponges.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if, you would have told me a year ago, even, that, hey, you're going to start this podcast and interview people. And as much as I am an extrovert and I love, meeting people, learning about their stories, this is so far out of my comfort zone in what I'm used to, what I would normally say yes to. But here we are, right? So,
let's do it.
Yeah. And that's, and that's what really, kind of excites me and gets me, wanting to do this is just, through my primary business, through the mortgage business, what I do is I meet people, I learn their stories, I understand their needs and help them, achieve whatever it is when we're trying to buy an investment property, a home for their family. The mortgage process is really just the vehicle to connect me, with people. I mean, that's really what I enjoy doing. So when this opportunity came about, it was like, hey, this is perfect because I can really continue to meet people, learn their stories and hear more about them, but just through a different medium. And that's, so awesome to be able to, reach out and connect with people and to have them share, these stories. So, what else are you kind of doing? How's the 5 a.m.ers, I guess? How has what you're, that kind of always, let's say yes to something that we're not comfortable with. How has that translated into, the 5 a.m.ers or, anything else that you're doing now? I mean, what's correlation?
So the 5 a.m.ers taught me that it's important to find things you want to do that fit into find things you want to do professionally that already fit into what you want to do personally, I guess is the way to put it. So for me, traditional networking was never really that exciting for me. I always wanted to meet people that based on the circumstance, I knew could add energy to my life, and I could do the same. And the 5 a.m.ers started off as just like a buddy and I texting, saying, "Hey, let's just see what happens if we get up early." We both have children, and we just felt like there wasn't any time in the day for us. We're like, well, let's just add an hour to the morning. And before we knew it, that grew to, within a year, 560 people in 8 different countries and 3 different continents. And
that's awesome.
It's become a family, and it ebbs and flows. People come and go, and that's cool. It's just about, it's an early morning accountability and achievement group. And so, but that means different things to different people. So we get together over the common bond of hey, we're going to get up early and just be purposeful about what we want to do with our day. And I've created some lifelong friendships from it already. I can tell. These are people that we bonded over this. And again, it comes back to that common thread of none of us were going to look back. If we're lucky enough to have a deathbed one day, I know it's kind of a dark topic, but if there's a time where we know our impending death is coming, we're not going to sit there and think, wow, we really wish we slept more. Right? We're going to no, we really wish we experienced more. So that's what this group is, and that's what it'll continue to be for the rest of our lives. And so it's created a new habit for me. One, I get up early every single day now, and it just creates some space in the day, some quiet time for me to think about myself. Which at first I thought was well, that's selfish just to get up and think. Well, no, it's important because if I'm not happy, then I can't be the best father. I can't be the best husband. And that's what it kind of is the leading domino of that. If I get up, I have time to think. If I don't, then the world wakes me up and already has an agenda for me. So I need to control it. And before you know it, you find your tribe. And so for me, it's all right, I didn't know if there's anyone else that wanted to get up at that time and jump on a Zoom conference like this, but they do.
Right.
As crazy as that is. We talk about books at 5 a.m. Who does that? I mean, it's basically like a book club, but we're sitting in our living room and we haven't brushed our hair yet,
Right.
So it's just changed my life because I had some limiting beliefs around what is social media. I was kind of afraid to put myself out there. And yet without social media, this group wouldn't exist to the extent it does. I wouldn't have met people in India, in Australia, and all these places that just want to get up early and talk to us. So I'm grateful for that. And I'm going to keep exploring it. So I'm going to keep saying yes to things that
Yeah.
That's kind of weird. And keep finding things like, all right, I wanted to get up early. Let me find other people who want to do that with me. And there you go.
Nah, that's awesome. And so I didn't realize you guys are expanding to other continents here. This is pretty awesome.
It just happens. I think there's like a glow. Granted, some people may be tired after getting up that early. But there's also a glow of like control, where it's like I have clarity in what I'm doing, and that you become a magnet when you have that. And so if they're friends or family, like, hey, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, I'm getting up early. I'm part of this weird group, and we talk to each other on Facebook every morning, and we jump on Zoom, and like, oh, let me check it out. And so we haven't advertised, we haven't done anything. It's just kind of
happened.
Word of mouth. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
And so, through, obviously it takes a certain level of discipline for people that want to get up at 5 a.m. And then you're dealing with coaching where, it takes some discipline, right, to show up for the coaching and commit to, the action plan. So based on what you do and the people you're exposed to, it seems like you probably have some nuggets that you could share with the people that are listening. Do you see like a common thread for people that are out there that just, they want to take their life, whether it's in business, whether it's as a father, whether it's as a husband, and, they want to take things to the next level, and you kind of being, immersed in people that are taking their lives to the next level, saying yes to things that they're uncomfortable with and committing to things. Is there any common thread that you could see that you could share, or any little nuggets, based on surrounding yourself with those types of people?
Yeah, I think these people, and when we all do this as leaders, I think you have to engineer the accountability into whatever you're doing. So what I mean by that is I show up differently in our 5 a.m. group because I also started it. So I created this, I forced the habit on myself, right? I may not show up at that time for myself. However, I will show up for the other 50 people on the Zoom on Tuesday morning that expect me to be there. And it's a small difference, but that's what creates the action and what creates the momentum so it can grow. So, if going to the gym first thing in the morning is tough for you, I join a CrossFit where I have to sign up for the class at least 24 hours in advance. Well, I'm not going to go after I've signed up, so I go, right?
Build that accountability in.
Yeah, so you build it in so that, the fear of letting someone else down is greater than your pain of like getting your feet out of bed when it's freezing in a Monday morning and you don't feel like going. So I think that's the thing. You just create it. And so being a coach for me was like, well, I don't want to be a hypocrite. So I'm going to be a coach, because if I coach someone to do something, I'm not going to hang up the phone and turn around and go do the opposite. So I think that's the common thread you see is you build in the accountability into your life if you're really serious about those goals. Now, you have to have a reason for doing it, right? Everyone that I know who's exceptionally high achiever that makes me feel lazy, I'm like, wow, they're connected to where the hell they're going. There's no doubt in their mind where they're going, and they know why. So that clarity and giving yourself some time to think, and that's why I think the mornings helped me. It gave me time to think. Zoning out in the car was not the same. At nighttime was not the same. The morning for me was like, I have energy, I slept well, the world is quiet, there's no text messages, no email, that's it. So I think that's to answer your question again more succinctly, is like you engineer the accountability into your schedule so you can't avoid it. And then incremental growth day after day after day after day equals, the big result you're seeking over time.
Nice. Yeah, that's great. So it's like, hey, if you don't have any accountability built in and it's cold and raining outside, you're going to stay in bed, right? Nobody knows if you don't make it to the gym, right?
Yeah. Make sure someone's going to miss you. Make sure that trainer the next time walks in and be like, hey man, you signed up for the class, but you didn't come.
Right.
Sure, I don't want them to say that to me.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to go. It's that simple. It's kind of like the 3-2-1 method. You count down in your head, and when you're in the 3-2-1, you just go. You just get up.
Nice.
You jump.
Awesome, man. Love it. Well, I don't know how much of the format we shared with you, but we do a little thing at the end here where we wrap up and we hit you with a little rapid fire. So.
Oh boy. Okay.
That's all right. We'll take it easy on you. So basically, rapid fire goes like this: you're stuck on an island. and we're going to hit you with a few questions, right?
Okay.
All right. So, and there's no chance of getting off this island. You're there. So we don't need, we don't need the guy that can build a boat or any survival skills. You're there. So who are you taking with you? Outside of your loved ones, let me throw the disclaimer. Sorry, obviously.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna, kids, family, everybody. We know that we'd all take them. So we're outside of our immediate family, loved ones. Could be anyone.
Okay. And there's no limit. I can just pack them in.
No. We got one.
It's only one. Only one. Oh man! All right, if I'm gonna be stuck on an island, well, I need some entertainment then. So. I feel like Richard Branson would be an awesome guy to be stuck on an island with. Right, between like the stories he could tell, the crazy stuff he's gonna make us do every day. I feel like he's like close enough to being like someone who could coach on like health and fitness, living on an island to make sure we're healthy. Probably just make you laugh every night. I mean, I feel like he should be the combination of like a cruise director and like an adventure guide and just a master storyteller. Just be awesome. So I bring him.
Nice. But just FYI, just out of coincidence, before we kicked off the show here, he's starting a cruise line. Do you know that now? So
I did not.
Yeah. So Gene just told me that we were just talking about vacation. I just got back from Riviera Maya, and we were talking about it. And he said, Richard Branson started a cruise line. He said it launches. I don't know when was that? In April. So literally like 5 minutes ago.
Whoa. Huh. There you go. Look at that.
Yeah. So that's awesome. Second question here, rapid fire. Book. What book are you taking with you? What's a book that's had a lot of influence in your life that you'd want to share with us?
Oh gosh. One book with me. Well, I think Daring Greatly, Brene Brown is the book that changed the way I look at myself. I was always someone that never had a problem being vulnerable or transparent or crying occasionally. And that book talks about true leadership can't occur without vulnerability, because vulnerability is what creates the trust, and that creates the bond that allows for us to be leaders, and when it's time for us to lead, and followers when it's time to be followers. And that book let me see it the way I am. I wasn't always sure if that was okay. Can I still be a leader if I get emotional, if I cry tears of joy, or cry tears of sadness in certain moments? And that book made me feel like it was okay. So that's a great one. I'm definitely going to pass it along to my kids. So I bring that with me.
Nice. Awesome. That's actually one I haven't read. So the other reason I like doing this stuff, I get all these good nuggets. All right. Last one's kind of a fun one. We did a little background, on you. Seems you like to, relax and eat some ice cream with your family and the girls.
Right. So,
what's the one ice cream flavor you got to have on the island?
Dude, this is well, so we went out, my wife and I go out on Sunday nights for dinners. This is Monday. We're recording on Monday. And so we went out to this really nice dinner. We love doing date nights on Sunday because it makes the weekend feel longer. You don't fall into that Sunday night doldrums. And went out to this great dinner, nice bottle of wine. And, they of course offer you dessert. I'm like, nah. My wife knows me so well. She's like, I know what you're thinking. So we drive home, and right outside our community is this McDonald's. And we don't generally eat McDonald's food, but the ice cream. Ice cream. I've been known to leave work and just walk down and get a cone. It's like $1.50. It's like a bargain, right?
I think everything.
But last night I was feeling crazy. So we upgraded to the cookies and cream McFlurry.
Ooh.
And it's just great. It's just great. It's like $2. So yeah, I'm a sucker for cookies and cream. Although I have gotten into pistachio lately. I'm a big fan of pistachio. I don't know, but I'm a truist. So cookies and cream, cookie dough. But generally, I'm
Jerry's. You're bringing McDonald's. I don't even know what that.
Dude, I'm good. McDonald's is good, man. I'm good with it.
All right.
Between the price and this flavor and this, you can't beat it.
You're in. All right. Cool, man. Well, as we wrap up here, just want to know, where can we find you? Follow you, connect with you. How can we find you?
Dude, head over to the yearofyeschallenge.com. Sign up, yearofyeschallenge.com. The site's going up actually tonight, so we're recording it even before it's even up. Like I said, goal is to get to 1,000 people in it by September 1st. If this is being played after December 1st, no problem. You can join us throughout the whole year. We're just going to see what we can do and how we can change the world in a year if we amass a bunch of people that are saying yes to things. So jump over there, and that'll link over to our Instagram and everything. But that's where you can find us.
Okay, so I think this comes to that, like built-in accountability. So I pretty much have to sign up for that, right? I have to say yes. Is that?
I mean, when you kind of you're like, you gotta say yes, right? Come on in.
Yeah.
What's the worst that could happen, right?
No, I'm in, dude. Absolutely. I'm saying yes.
Good.
So,
good. Thanks, Chris.
All right, awesome. Well, I appreciate your time today, Jake. It was a pleasure getting to know a little bit more about you behind the scenes. And for those of us that are listening, again, just want to thank our sponsor, First Choice Mortgage Advisors. Also want to invite you, if you enjoyed this, if you got some value out of it, to go ahead on iTunes and give us a 5-star rating. All right. So on that note, we're out. Jake, thanks so much for your time.
Thanks, Chris. This was awesome. Appreciate it.